Obviously, people make mistakes when they're young and they, make dumb choices. But I feel like that shouldn't be a way as to why you would cancel someone.
In today's digital age, social media is more popular than ever. But with social media comes more surveillance and exposure. This exposure can be harmless and even positive, but there are also negatives such as cancel culture. Similar to being shunned from a community, cancel culture involves publicly calling out and even blocking individuals based on polarizing opinions or actions. While this culture gains popularity, not all youth agree on this method.
I think that cancel culture is just an excuse for people to be angry. I think today a lot of people just want to argue and don't really like to see that people can change or that people have different views.
One, it does hold people who are in the public figure and eye very accountable, but it also can cause innocent people to be targeted for no reason.
This past year has seen its fair share of controversy and cancel mentality, including the scandal of the House of Representative Katie Hill and the subsequent special election to replace her. In October 2019, a report was published on an alleged affair between Hill and a staffer, which Hill admitted she had an inappropriate relationship that led her to resign from Congress on November 3rd. We caught up with both Democratic candidate Christy Smith and Republican candidate Mike Garcia earlier this year to discuss the effects of cancel culture, divisive social media, and the question of privacy.
Myself, as a grown woman, as a 50-year-old woman, have found myself nearly brought to tears, honestly, by the cruelty and some of the lies and things that have been said not only about me, but about my family members. What that really compelled me to think about even more than I had previously is what that means for young people who find themselves in this social media environment and without access to meaningful social relationships that help support them through what can be a pretty cruel environment sometimes.
Privacy is obviously critical in all endeavors. These things all affect the younger generation, and they really get to experience something that not many Americans get involved with.
When it comes to cancel culture and voting opinions, I think it truly depends on what the person's being canceled for. I think it really depends on the severity of the situation.
If you could just look at this with like an open mind and realize, okay, do they really deserve this? I feel like situations could be treated a lot better that way.
If you're going to vote, you need to be educated on who you're voting for, what you're voting for. You need to do a lot of research to find out what you believe and what's true.
This year's my first year voting, so I feel like what I voted for is what I think is good for our country. I feel like it's important that you vote for who you think is good for you and who you think is good for your country, because obviously every vote counts.
While we don't know who youth voters are voting for, we do know that 18 through 29-year-olds are already voting more in this current election than in 2016. According to the Center for Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement, more than 5 million young people are already voted early or by absentee ballot. In addition, the study found that many states have higher youth voter registration for this election. California's youth voter registration is 60% higher for the 2020 election than in 2016. As a first-time voter in California, I've researched candidates and issues that are important to me. I'm eager to cast my vote and see how my generation will affect the outcome of this election. For Student Reporting Labs, I'm Patrick Hunter.